Hello guys, it's another Friday. I cannot believe we are already on chapter 4. Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. This is one of my favorite chapters. Oh, never mind. They're all my favorite. The whole book is my favorite. I love the Fox That Screed series that I've started. Please no negative things in the comments. The comment section hasn't been too active. I'm not asking you for much. I just hope you guys enjoy this thing that I've created. Thanks. Listen and enjoy. Freya sat and hugged Mataro until she passed out, while Matrix grabbed the chief's throat and hung him on his hammer. You will regret this very much, but I will enjoy this, Matrix chuckled. Garashi limped over to Freya and Mataro. What's happening, Freya? He asked softly. Freya couldn't handle her friends looking this way. She felt like it was all her fault. Matrix came down with the chief in one hand and a glowing crystal in the other. He'll be safe, he growled, and cast him into the crystal. He attached it to a necklace with different types of teeth and claws tied to it. Matrix's aura calmed down, and he grabbed Mataro and cradled her in his arms. This little one, I know her, he whispered. Freya wasn't even shocked. Matrix was kind of that guy that just pretty much knew everyone. She's my cousin, he said blankly, smiling at Mataro. That wasn't what Freya expected, though. Garashi didn't even know what was going on. You are? He coughed. Freya and Matrix laughed, and they all went back to Matrix's hut after escaping a few more guards. All along the way, Matrix explained his side of the story. So, you know they'll want blood, Garashi said concerningly. Matrix just laughed. I think they will fear the likes of Matrix, knowing I am a warrior prince, he said, still laughing. A day went by, and Mataro finally woke up. She looked around and noticed that no one else was awake, so she just left back to her hut. She went to her treehouse and stared at the carving, and then looked at her own reflection. I do like this. I think it's okay, she said, feeling her hair. Then she carved it out under the wood. She then grabbed a knife and cut her hair into a nicer, cleaner haircut. I should head back, right? Mataro asked, looking at Maru. Maru just squeaked, and Mataro grabbed a bag of fruit and chose to go back. Maru, come on, let's go, she giggled. The small raccoon climbed down and went onto Mataro's shoulder. She walked through the forest and just couldn't help getting through the thought that Freya and Garashi would constantly keep trying to help her like a baby. I'm just going to tell him not to do that, she said, still walking to Matrix's hut. When she reached the side of the hut, Freya was already running out to her. Mataro, you scared me! Don't do that, she said, hugging her. Sorry, I found something interesting and got distracted, Mataro said, trying to just keep what happened to herself. Garashi and Mataro came out and joined them in the hug. So, are we ready for Fuxishu? Garashi said. My clan actually bought Fuxishu from Turtle Village. So if we go to the Minotaur Mansion, Matrix said, letting go of the hug. Mataro smiled and nodded her head. Yes, then that sounds fine, she said softly. So they packed some stuff and set off to the Minotaur Mansion. Mataro, do you remember the mansion? Matrix asked, looking up at the sky. Mataro was confused. She's never heard of the Minotaur Mansion. Oh, right. When Marblissu took you, he erased your memory, he said, looking back down at Mataro. You were born in the Minotaur Mansion, but you weren't a normal Minotaur. You didn't have any animal head or tail or anything. Mataro, you were just kind of human, he explained sadly, swishing his tail and tapping his head. Mataro looked down. Was I really? Marblissu, tell me, she said in her head. Mataro, you are related to Matrix. You were born in the Minotaur Mansion. I should have told you. I didn't know how they'd treat you. Maybe they'd treat you like they did Garashi, or... Marblissu stammered guiltily in Mataro's head. Mataro stopped walking. I knew I was different, she thought. But this isn't what I meant. Mataro started to speak, but couldn't. Freya stopped the rest of the group. Mataro, are you okay? She asked, walking back to her. Motaro just let go of it all. She couldn't hold it in anymore. She started crying and swooped Freya into a hug. I never wanted any of this to happen. I wanted a mother, a father, a normal life, she shouted, still crying. I wanted to have friends and siblings in a normal home, she continued. Motaro was so tired, she just leaned into Freya's arms. I hate fighting, she screamed, as more and more tears soaked into her face. Blusu just hid it away because he thought it would make me feel better, Motaro roared, squeezing Freya a little. Rashi felt her emotions swelling in him, too, and he just looked at Maychex, who then walked over to the two little girls. Motaro looked at Maychex and just went back to crying. I couldn't have lived a normal life with anyone. I had to just live with Maru and Blissu, and she couldn't take it anymore. There was nothing else she could even think to say. Freya looked at Garashi, but he didn't know what to do or say that might make her feel better. Why is this world so evil? He muttered to himself, kicking a stone and walking off to a cliff nearby. He sat down on the cliff's edge and looked out to the sky and the valley. Matrix walked up and huffed as well. She was very scared the whole time. She just covered it with a smile. Matrix sighed, watching Garashi stand up. Matrix put his hand on Garashi's shoulder and let out a wolf-like shout with a smirk. Garashi also screamed out some of his anger. They just shouted out there a little until Freya and Motaro walked up. They laughed at them a little for being so loud for no reason. It's okay, Motaro. We all have trouble. I lived like that too, Garashi said, going off to hunt something for them to eat. Freya knew he had the fox, but the thing he still didn't know was supposed to stay a secret. For sure. How am I gonna tell him? Maychex is sorry for you three, he said, taking a bite of a fireberry he found. My troubles come too, he huffed. I felt bad that my cousin left, and when Maychex is mad, he does not stop, he continued, patting Motaro. Maychex has a question. If Freya has Motaro and Garashi, the demons, why is Freya with them? He said, not knowing that Freya had a demon fox too. The three of them started laughing. Maychex, Freya giggled. Okay, there's Garashi and Motaro, right? and I have... She broke out laughing. Maychex was getting confused and huffed again. Maychex does not understand, Freya, he said, flapping his ears funny. Freya calmed down. Kurshimu and Garashi, Motaro and Blissu, okay, and I have Ficfonus, she said, holding back a giggle. Maychex slumped down and put 2 fingers on his lips. A long silence stood between them. And then out of nowhere, Maychex started laughing. Freya was shocked. What was so funny to him? Maychex finally calmed down. Oh, Freya, I knew that. I was wondering why you three were together, he chuckled. Freya let out a startled laugh. Oh, Maychex, she giggled. We're taming and freeing the foxes, Motaro said with complete straight face. Garashi nodded and finished the Churskull he'd catched to eat. Then he started packing his stuff. We should get going then, he said, standing up slowly, walking around to pick everything else up. Freya finished eating and helped Garashi, and then, a couple minutes later, they were already halfway down the cliff. At nightfall, they set up camp in a big field and watched the stars. 2 days later, nothing big happened. They just stopped here and there, but finally made it to the Minotaur mansion. Whew, Freya said, exhausted from all the walking. Maychex knocked on the huge doors, and 2 Minotaurs huffed and opened the doors. Welcome back, Maychex, one of them said. Who are the kids? He chuckled. He seemed to be a pig Minotaur, very strong. They are my new friends, and Freya here. I am her protector, Maychex said proudly. They entered the mansion, and inside were tons of different minotaurs. They went straight to the Alpha Cave. "Right here is my father," Matrix huffed happily, flapping his ears. Immediately, a low laugh came from inside, and Grashi could see the big demon fox in a ginormous cage. "Father!" Matrix shouted, kneeling down. Freya, Grashi, and Mitaro all knelt down as well. "Matrix, how is my warrior prince doing?" the chief said in a booming voice. Matrix stood up and huffed. "I have come here with my friends to take care of Foxishu. Please, Moonfox," putting a fist to his chest. Moonfox leaned over with a finger on his chin. "Was this the request from the children?" he said, very mellow. Matrix nodded. "But I have chosen this one," he said, ruffling Freya's hair. "I'm protecting her, so I do what they do." Smiled at his father, knowing he'd be proud. "Ha! I knew it. I've been looking for someone who can tame her," Moonfox boomed. "But I highly doubt children could do it," he said concerningly. Matrix huffed proudly. "Well, father, they are Marblissu, Fekfaunus, and Kroshimu," he said, flapping his ears. Moonfox's eyes grew big, and he stood up tall. Mitaro knew if she was from here, they'd recognize her eventually. "You were the chosen one, Mitaro!" he boomed, laughing proudly. "Nice! My niece is here, right in front of me. Oh, 3 moons. Mitaro went through so much that this chief's excitement made Mitaro just jump behind Grashi and try to hide. Grashi turned around. "Are you okay? What scared you?" She froze. "I'm sorry, I just don't like surprisingly loud noises," she shivered, wrinkling her nose and grinning. Moonfox calmed down and walked to Mitaro. You are different now. Is there anything I can help with?" he whispered. Mitaro couldn't think. All she could think about was the plan they had for the foxes. "We've taken some trauma lately, so I think you just scared her with your excitement," Karashi said, wrapping his arm around Mitaro. Moonfox frowned. "I do apologize. Minotaurs like I are very loud," he chuckled. "If we are talking about Foxishu, what we'll need is a special collar," Moonfox said, with an ambitious smile on his face. "We'll need leather and wool and a whale crystal," he said, rubbing his hands together. "But it has to be special since we are talking about a demon. Leather from the Lita tree, wool from a yeti, and the whale crystal from the bottom of the ocean," he smirked. Matrix laughed. "That will be easy, father," he said. Grashi wanted to get the leather, Mitaro offered to get the wool, and Freya was left with the gem. "Then off you go. These are very important to keep Foxishu safe," Moonfox said as they left. That'll be all for today. If we did 2 chapters for this video, it could take a while. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And trust me, there are going to be tons of more dangerous trips than just these. So, be prepared. Alright, I'll see you guys next Friday, or if I decide to put any small little videos up during the week.